Paramount to ditch longtime May upfront presentation. So the upfront is over? No. Paramount may be canceling its upfront presentation, but it's not canceling the upfront. The upfront's demise has been predicted for years. The annual marketplace for advertisers and TV networks to sign year-long deals faced its biggest threat during the pandemic when brands really weren't looking to lock themselves into long-term commitments. But the upfront persisted, and it's probably going to stick around for the foreseeable future. Why? Well, because according to several TV network and agency executives I spoke to recently, TV ad buyers and sellers find economic comfort in the upfront model despite its confines.
The industry has always benefited from a somewhat standardized upfront negotiation, rooted in some common thing. The agencies get a lot of money spent in one moment, publishers get a bunch of money in, you can plan your year out.
The rationale for TV networks may seem pretty obvious. The upfront is a way for them to secure a year's worth of revenue in advance. But what about for buyers? Well, it's a way to lock in ad prices for 12 months. That's certainly how the sellers position it. I mean, take this quote that Warner Bros. Discovery's US ad chief John Steinlauf said to me last year. "We're selling a futures market now. It's hard to imagine what the country is going to look like in August of 2023 in 15 or 16 months, but that's really what we're selling." So again, that's how the sellers position it, but it's also how advertisers and agencies perceive the upfront model.
There's a piece of the upfront that anything that needs to have reservations because of worries about supply will continue to be bought. So I do think sellers are right in the sense that it's not going anywhere.
In other words, for advertisers, the upfront model is like signing a year-long lease on a home as opposed to paying month to month or week to week. Sure, you may itch at the idea of knowing you're locked into making rent for the next 12 months, but you also know you don't have to worry about a rent hike for another 12 months.
You never want to be that advertiser that gets caught in scatter and you're just paying through the nose.
You said it, the rent is too damn high.
People think of the upfront as leverage for sellers, but the reality is it's an enormous opportunity for buyers because it does give them fairly significant cost advantages.
Of course, there are disadvantages to the upfront, mainly the being locked into a year-long lease part. If, say, the economy goes south, advertisers can only cancel a portion of their upfront commitments.
With things so up in the air and so all over the place and so many different things affecting it, it's hard for these guys to commit.
And some advertisers are opting not to commit, especially those that don't have a long history of participating in the upfront and that are more accustomed to the digital way of buying ads without any fixed commitments.
Clients are getting used to these shorter-term investments, and unless the linear marketplace becomes more flexible in regards to reserved inventory and the ability to get out, you're going to see less money reserved up front and more put into digital environments or shorter-term commitments.
But just because advertisers appear poised to cut their upfront commitments doesn't mean they're planning to cut themselves out of the upfront market altogether. In an unstable economy, the upfront model still makes sense to an extent, especially for those legacy upfront advertisers dealing on ad rates originally set years and even decades ago. If the TV ad market is a card table, then legacy upfront advertisers joined when the buy-in was relatively low. And while the ante has generally gone up for them, the TV networks have really raised the buy-in for newer advertisers. Or, to return to our lease analogy, the legacy upfront advertisers have the closest thing in the ad market to rent control, whereas everyone else is signing luxury rental agreements.
Legacy advertisers, such as big packaged goods companies with very low bases, don't ever want to give away that legacy pricing. They're certainly going to be back in the upfront.
As one of the TV network executives I spoke to told me,
Every time the upfront's been written off, it's usually short-sighted with clients that haven't been there in a while and haven't seen one of those, wait, but I paid this last quarter and now I'm paying this because of supply and demand.
none of this is to say that the upfront model may not go away one day, but for the foreseeable future, which admittedly may not be all that visible anyway, expecting it to stick around seems like the safer bet. Having said that, the upfront model is in the midst of an overhaul. For more on that, check out this article on Digiday's site. Thanks for watching.